Hey guys, out at the shop today. So I want to work on the Cadillac today. I want to get this hole plugged. I got this hole, I got this one on the other side. I want to get it done. So last night I sprayed down the back side of all my patches. So I'm going to weld these patches in first, probably spray them, and then I'll start working on those patches. Looks like I got it looking fairly decent. It looks sort of like the bottom of a fender. That's going to get some filler and whatnot, obviously. The metal work isn't perfect. It's as good as I'm going to get it because I don't want to spend my life at it. So I'll probably clean that up, grind that edge off a little. We'll see as I'm fitting it. So I just sprayed it with this stuff. Cold Galvy compound. Now, maybe crazy, I wire wheeled the rusty surface rust off and then I just sprayed it. And the reason I did is because about 6 years ago when I started the barbecue on the roof, there was the air input for the air conditioning, and they're a galvanized, tin that has a big rounded area on top, and that was all covered with rust, surface rust, and I just wiped them down with a wire brush real quick, sprayed it down with this, and they still look good, and they're outside in Northeast PA weather, night, day, rain, shine, all that, snow, whatever. By the time I get done welding and stuff, some of that's going to burn. I mean, what am I going to do? I can't get back behind it and paint everything after I weld it, so I'm kind of stuck with some of that. So I've had this Miller Matic 140. I think I got it when Connor was 14, and he's 32 now. Well, you can do the math. Anyway, this thing is, a monkey can operate it, which is a lucky thing because I'm just only 2 steps above. But you set your wire size, doing sheet metal, it's got auto set. I mean, and this is I don't know, what is it? It's almost 20 years old. They had this technology back then. And then you can do a micro adjustment for your voltage. If you want to weld something other than that, you can set it down lower for 24 gauge, or you can crank it up to 10 for 1/8 or 3/16. Then you probably want to go to 30 wire. But, and you can also set your wire speed, but it takes you out of auto set. And you're out of auto set, because the blue light went out. So now that's back into auto set. I guess I can change this infinitely without the blue light going out. But anyway, I set it down kind of low. I don't want to use a lot of voltage on this old crusty iron. So this thing's been a tank, I think. It's never given us any problems at all. Probably the only problem it gave us was setting the tension on the spool. That was a little bit of a nuisance for a while. I don't remember how we fixed it, but we did. So anyway, I'm going to start welding. I'm going to stick that one little piece in there. I'm going to have to just hold it by hand and stick it in there. Got to change my reading glasses so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, I think that's good enough now. I'm gonna just live with that. Not perfect, but it don't look horrible. And it gets covered, and by the time I paint it and undercoat it, it's gonna be great. Okay, so the whole reason I welded this little tab here, I gotta drill a hole through. That's where one fender bolt goes. Now this is part of the wheelhouse. This is part of the car. And this is part of the fender. This is part of the fender. So I'm only gonna attach it right here where it hooks into the fender back here. And the only other place it's going to be attached to the fender is to my patch here. Is my plan to weld those two together, either rosette welds or something like that. And all that to say, I had it fitted and I kind of figure out I got to drill a hole in the bottom right here where it's going to go up through into that fender bolt with a fender nut, clip nut. So that's my plan right now. And meanwhile, I'm scratching all that galvanized stuff off. I don't know if that was the best choice. It's really scratching off easy. I'm going to spray it again before I put it together, and once it's not monkeyed with anymore, it should be okay, I think. And if not, I still think this car is going to last a long time. You got to figure, it's never going to see salt again. It's rainy day driving? Nah, It's not going to be a daily driver through all kinds of weather anymore. She's a 70, it's a survivor. It needs to be taken care of now. It needs to be put in a garage, you know, when you're not driving it. And you should get it out and drive it once a month, except for when the weather's bad. And you get out, start it up, roll it around a little bit, because it really does only have 60,000 miles on it. As far as I can tell, it could have rolled over and have 160, but it's a 100,000 mile jump, and I think I noticed that. The pedals are clean. It seems like it's not that wore out. I've seen these with that kind of miles. Actually, you don't see them that much with that kind of miles. They didn't go that far. Usually something went haywire before they got to 160,000. The newer cars do hold up pretty good, actually, as much as everybody loves to complain about them. Me being one of the everybody's who loves to complain about stuff. So anyway, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get that hole there, and I'm going to poke a hole through there, get my clip nut in place, spray all that up so it's treated up good, and yeah, then we'll go from there. Okay, got that hole. I use this here stepper bit. Yeah, it seems to works okay. It's one I bought from Harbor Freight a long time ago. I never used it. Kind of was using it. It seems to work all right. Put a hole in it. I had to go on the backside and ream off the razor edge it left. So I did that. It was a kind of a round burr that we just left it on there. So, well, let's see how this is going to work out. I don't usually drill very fast because I don't like heating up the material. Learned that the hard way, running bits real fast and burn them up. There we go. Step one. Step two. Wow, hot little shards coming on my hand. Ow. Might be going a little too fast. That's good enough, but look at the burr it leaves on the back side, and it's, you know, something I got to deal with now. I got to get rid of this burr. That's a pretty high burr right there, and it's razor sharp. I got this piece ready to weld in. I got my little tab welded, so I sprayed it up with more of that galvanizing compound. You know, it's got a lot of zinc in it, which zinc is anti-rot no matter what it is, even on your body. That's why Head and Shoulders is good for, you know, when you have skin irritations on your head and elsewhere. Anyway, so I got that sprayed up, and I sprayed the back side of the piece. So while that's drying, I'm going to go to the other side and fit that up and get that all ready. Looks like I'm going to be jumping back and forth between sides. Yeah, just hopefully it seemed to work pretty good for reaming this out. Just took it and went right around inside there. See, it's peeling that burr right out of there. And it doesn't take much. And it probably doesn't matter if the blade's sharp or not. Sorry I can't hold it in position the whole time I'm doing it, but because I don't like that burr there. I don't think that's going to help me any, you know what I mean? I go to slide in the clip nut or whatever, it's going to hang it up. There we go. There's our little burr. There's our nice clean hole. Burless, for the most part. There's a little ridge there, but not enough to worry now. Okay, I got that inner chunk stuck there. I'm going to finish this weld all the way down around the lip, because that's where it hooks to the fender. And then over here it gets bolted up through to the wheelhouse. And then I got to put the outer piece on. But what I'm going to do is weld that. I'm going to clean this all up, spray it all with some kind of good solid paint, and stick that out around there and get that tacked in. And then it'll be dyno glass time. Okay, I was kind of cheesy. And I thought that was okay because all the rust was here. But I get digging in here and it looks like a mess. And I got this back here. So I'm gonna wind up cutting this off. Maybe even go a little higher. I don't want to have to rebuild this whole thing here though. But here's where it's messy. So probably maybe I'll just go right up to here and cut it off. I already cut that out of the new patch. But I can always weld it back in. I mean, I'll just weld it back in. But yeah, I gotta do something with that. It's ugly. And this putty is pretty close to a 1/4 inch thick there. If you look up and under, you can see it. And it's messy. And there's an overlay there. That's gonna be another source of rust. It's already rusting. This is from an old patch. They probably tucked it way up and under. You know, put a weld across here and then puttied the heck out of it. I don't have a problem with puttying the heck out of it, but hey, you know what? It lasted for probably decades. Because this car hadn't been on the road since '99, so jeepers, just since it was parked, it's lasted. And that's been, well, 99, 23 years. You know, a lot of that's probably sitting outside. I know the last 4 years was sitting outside. Why didn't I just do this in the first place? Don't worry, I'm asking myself the very same question. And there you have it. So a little more rot there. This is a lapped over old patch. Yeah, should have cut this out right off the bat. But guess what? We're welding anyway. So I'll just weld another piece on there. Problem solved. I'm going to have to do a little bit of hiding and covering here. And some of this, I mean, it's as good as it's going to get. I'm not going to like cut this chunk out and patch it. But we are going to treat it up and spray it and try to do the best we can with it. So probably what I'll do is actually put that piece in and then patch that afterwards. I think that'll be the easier way to go. It's funny, as I was looking back, this is the side that looked worse, the driver's side. When you just looked at it before I did anything at all, it had 2 lines of rot. I trimmed that all out and this is what I got. This is all clean, this is all nice. I even kept that edge. On the other side, it looked cleaner. It was a big line of rot down on the lower spot, but there wasn't a bunch but as it turns out, once I dug into it, it actually is worse. So it's funny when you're doing this stuff, looks can be deceiving. So it's taking a little extra persuasion to put this exactly where I want it. And it's still not exactly where I want it, but it's much better. So I get this line going straight down, and this line is a little off, but you know, I'll have to correct that with the filler, that's all. And then I'll do that. Now I got it tacked here, and I got it tacked pretty good. I'm gonna finish welding this. I gotta press it down in places and weld it. And once I get it all welded, I'm gonna let the jack down, hope it stays. I've got the chrome piece that goes on here, the wheelhouse chrome. And I got it so it's fitting pretty good. It's gonna go just about like that. There's a little gap between the new metal, but it's gonna follow that line and it's not gonna take a whole lot of fill to make that match. So if I get it all welded up and put the jack down and it's fine, good to go. Okay, well I got this piece tacked there. Not so sure. Looks like my body line looks fairly okay. I mean, it looks like I'll be able to straighten that out with putty, you know, and shape it up a little bit. I think I got it for the most part. It's going to be a lap joint overlapping. The back doesn't look too great. I'll have to do something there. I'm not sure what. Really thought I had it back further. I might take it off and redo it because it looks to me like to get that body line to line up, I can move it back. So I've been doing a lot of trial and error with this thing. But I think I'm going to put the chrome on just to see what that looks like. I say put the chrome on, but I really mean I'm just going to place it there. All right. See what we got. Because the chrome, let's face it, I can't bend that to match. Really don't look bad. Looks like I pretty much got it. It's the same shape. So I think I'm going to live with this. I probably will tap this back a little. Well, I have to, but first I'm going to weld it here good so it'll stay. But yeah, I'm happy with that. That's gonna work. Well guys, look like we're at the end of the day here on this old Caddy. I got this done. Got to make this stupid little patch here because I was dumb enough to cut it out the first place. But I got her stuck in there and I think it looks pretty good. It looks like it'll work once I get it sanded off. We grind her off flush, make it nice. Got this too. Looks pretty good. Nice and solid. Once that gets ground off and puttied, only your hairdresser will ever know. So we'll get that done. Had a pretty good day, but had some distractions too, so didn't get as much done today as I wanted to. Listen, thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and we'll see you on the next one.